What's up? What's up?
What's going on, guys? TNet Podcast here. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Click on that bell. J. Curtis Strickland here, and I'm hanging with Mr. Daniel Aderholdt, drummer of TYGER, and cheers. Uh-oh.
Go and get.
Went down the wrong pipe. What are you doing there?
Hey, turn the light on, you crack smoke.
I'm trying to go to sleep.
Okay, well, go to sleep. I'll be there in a minute.
Okay.
So how you been, man?
Pretty good, man. How about yourself?
I'm chilling, man. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on with your project?
Well, been recording, doing some shows here and there, just trying to build some steam up. But I guess last summer we had our singer quit on us, and just trying to audition and find the right person. And
Right.
It's not been easy.
No,
Because you got to find some. What's that?
When did that happen again?
It's like last summer.
Oh shit, that's been a long time.
So we've been trying to book shows. We played a show without a singer at Amos South End, and
Wow.
it was interesting, but do what you got to do.
What do you think about Amos's?
I love it, man. It's probably one of my favorite places to play in terms of how it sounds on stage, and it's always mixed well.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
spot.
that's the key right there. No, I mean, my project's played at Amos's a few times, and it's crazy because I saw VNV Nation there, and it was packed to the brim. But when we played, it was like maybe the first 2 rows or whatever, So it was like and that was my first Amos's experience, so it was a little bit tainted from that. But seen some good shows there. So have you been auditioning people?
Yeah, we have a couple who's come out and tried out. We have one lady in particular who's we're thinking pretty serious about because she's fun to hang out with and talented.
Nice.
We have one more to audition, and I think we're almost close to making a decision, but it's fucking stressful.
The lady singer, so you'd be doing like an Arch Enemy or an Undying or something, right?
Not as aggressive. More Motley Crue, Motorhead meets.
Oh, there you go. No, I just meant in the sense that it was female,
driven.
vocals. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like Hailstorm? I've never heard any of her music, but she seems to be a hot act.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Have you ever seen? There's like this. She's like Eastern European chick. I saw like a little short on YouTube or Instagram or something, and she's like heavily tatted up. She's really in shape, but she's got this like demonic growl.
Is she the one that was on YMH Live and she did the Christmas song?
Maybe. I don't know. She's got a really
she's awesome. Super intimidating.
If this is the same person she's really attractive, and then it's like you hear her voice and you're like, holy shit, I can't believe this woman is making these sounds, You
got the devil in you.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking so tell me more about yourself, man. Did you grow up in North Carolina?
Yeah, I was born and raised Lincoln County pretty much, but would commute to Charlotte and surrounding areas for good shows.
Nice. What was your first memory of like going to like a metal or like a hardcore show in North Carolina?
Well, there used to be a church. Well, the church is still there, but right down the road from my house, they would have all kinds of hardcore bands. I mean, I saw Ludacris, who's now Norma Jean, Beloved.
Is it
No, Upper Room's in Statesville.
Oh, okay. Got you. I
played there a few times myself.
Did you? But, Ludacris used to play there all the time, and a lot of kids would get it mixed up with the hip hop artists because they were around the same time,
Right. No, this place is Living Word Holiness, Pentecostal Holiness Church.
Oh, okay.
And Beloved would play there. When I was a kid,
Good dudes. Oh,
Norma
Crispy
Jean, wait, Showbread. Remember
Showbread.
them?
Oh yeah, I
I
think
think
so.
they're
I
from
never. I
Johns
never saw them.
and the Showdown. The Showdown will play there a lot too.
These were all like later, like solid state bands, weren't they?
Yeah, so this is probably, man, I don't even know, 2001, 2, 3 area, somewhere
Yeah,
around there.
yeah. Wow, that's pretty awesome. And like, how did you get playing on the Skins? Like, were you raised in like a musical family, or did you play in band or anything like that?
I mean, I started playing drums at church when I was a kid, and then started listening to the devil's music, and no, uh, just I don't know. I mean, my grandfather was a guitar player. I never met him, but my mom says that there's people in my family who can play, and I don't know where it comes from, but I just friggin' love it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. And we've had some interesting conversations as per Facebook and whatnot, as far as the current state of the world. Like, give me your 2 cents on like kind of what's going on right now.
Talking about with punk rock.
Well, or anything. Do we want to delve into the realm of world affairs?
Oh, how we're mixing music with politics.
Well, I mean, you know, I, it's a fine line, because it's like, within hardcore and metal, there's been a lot of politically um, conscious bands, and like you were saying about spirituality. Like, I remember old Strong Arm back in the day, and like
Oh, heck yeah.
they were really passionate about the Christianity thing, so much so that like, they were
They were
in,
basically a heavy worship band.
yeah, more or less, and that first album kind of
Yeah.
had like a Strife feel almost, and then
Oh,
like
yeah.
their later album had like a Shai Hulud-ish type feel, which made sense because they had same members.
Cleese. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I mean, like, it's interesting when people put themselves out there and have an opinion that's kind of counter to the quote unquote narrative, and then because that doesn't really exist in a lot of like punk rock, hardcore, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you think it's because people are more kind of fearful of talking about things that are perceived as sensitive subjects within like the hardcore and metal realm?
Maybe. I don't know what it is. Like kind of walking on eggshells
Yeah.
around certain things. It's like because if you do come out and say things that you feel strongly about or whatever, then you get lumped in the others. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's weird. It's a
And
weird spot.
well, it's just like, it's hard to perceive that with everything that's been going on in the past 2 years, people aren't starting to like be aware of, kind of the clandestine, you know, things that are going on within our government, and like, I saw something where it was like, eat the bugs, and like,
Oh yeah, you'll
I was
own
like,
nothing and be happy.
yeah, I was on board with that,
Charles, what? Eat the bugs?
What? No. Like, I was like, yeah, why the fuck does anybody think this is a good idea? I'm
No.
saying like in regards to, what you were saying about it, and I was like, how the fuck can anybody like not see how insidious and how fucked up this is?
Yeah, it's I don't think it ends well.
No,
And you got, I mean, they're there. Dabo's right now doing some dark art shit. You know what I'm saying?
oh yeah, I don't doubt it. I mean, like, they're so steeped in occultism, and they do their little signals and their little things and whatnot, and they think people don't take notice of those things, when it's like, yeah, some people, a lot of people are onto you, but it still amazes me how some people aren't really, like I said, aware of that. They're not like quote unquote red pilled.
I mean, it's just hidden in plain sight with that stuff. You know, It's almost as a taunt to normies. I don't know.
It seems like it, doesn't it?
I mean, to me it does, but to the average person who doesn't pay attention to that stuff, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, Klaus Schwab looks like a fucking Sith Lord, and it's like
I'll fight him for charity.
for
The
charity,
Dark
yeah,
Lord.
the
Yeah.
Dark Lord. No, I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, he looks like fucking Darth Schwab, like he's
I mean,
he's
you try to think of a villain, and that's what he looks like.
absolutely the
Draw me a
fucking
picture of a villain, and that's who they draw.
the black robes, the fucking
He's got the little
yeah,
dinglies.
yeah. What do you call
Yeah.
fucking
That's how many souls he's taken. They're
pendant.
all like numbered. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
It's like a
it's crazy, man. So tell me like one of your most interesting like tour stories
um
with any outfit, like something wild, like I had Richie from Wisdom and Chains on here, and I don't know if you're familiar with what happened to them, but he was sleeping out in the van and somebody jacked their van, and I was like, that's a fucking crazy ass story,
with
while
the
he was
trailer with the
what
trailer on it or just a van.
I don't know if he mentioned the trailer was on it. I think they had the equipment in like a 15 passenger,
Oh,
and
okay.
'cause he mentioned, whenever he fucking tried choking the guy out and like, sticking him and stuff, they ran off the road, and he said like all the equipment like flew to the front, and because they crashed and fucking yeah. So
Dude,
crazy.
people are
What you got, man?
so disrespectful. I
Yeah.
don't I don't really have a crazy tour story because I've never really toured a whole lot. I got married young, had kids young, so I've been at home. So I'm just now starting to play music, like seriously.
Seriously?
But I remember, I guess we played a show in South Carolina or Georgia. Our singer got trashed and made a mess of shit.
Oh.
And we finished our set, and we put him in my truck to let him sleep it off. And evidently, he comes out on this like search for where we are. He falls out of my truck face first and scuffs
Oh,
his face. He comes looking for us, and he's got
oh,
blood and shit.
Jesus. Dude.
Good
Did he
times.
remember it?
Not really till the more. I don't think it really set in. He was like, "Man, I'm sorry, dude." It's like,
That is
no,
that is the
that's
freaking
on.
worst.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
nothing really. It was just standard
Yeah.
band nonsense.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know,
It's always got to be the singer too, man.
well, is it? I've had some pretty unsteady axemen in the past before, and I'm sure they thought I was at one point, like when when you
Yeah.
when you smoke weed and you're in a band with a bunch of straight edge dudes, like um, this was many bands ago for me, so whatever, I thought I controlled it well, but some people, like you said, like your singer, they don't,
Yeah. White girl wasted.
Yeah, man. So yeah, you used to play in Stained Glass Romance.
Yeah, that was, I want to say 03, 04, maybe something like that.
Okay. How long did you play with them?
I was in there for a short stint. I think I might have been in there maybe a year, but I tracked drums on one of their EPs.
Okay.
I think I played one or two shows with them, so not a whole lot of activity.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy. So with Justin's a good dude. He's been doing a lot of my
Oh yeah.
uh
Justin Campbell is one of my favorites. He came to my wedding. He's a good
oh,
dude.
no kidding.
Yep.
Yeah, he's an absolute solid dude. Like he's been doing a lot of my artwork for my brand and whatnot, and just
Yeah.
you can have these really like esoteric and like cerebral conversations with him, and he's
Oh yeah.
he's onto it,
He's
and
onto the level. Yeah.
yeah, so it always a good dude, and I've been
He's
friends with.
always had a sweet disposition about him.
Yeah, absolutely, and I've been friends with him, since God, since high school, and Yeah, just all around, just solid dude, great musician, super talented guy. It's cool that you got the opportunity to play with him. I played in stained glass years ago. I was one of the keyboard players, and
Okay.
and then I ended up fronting a few shows. Like we played with Hatebreed, and that was kind of more my element, you know. Like I didn't know how to play that shit, and like they just kind of,
Hmm.
our guitar player, Paul Verley at the time, he he was like, why don't you just play keyboards like under oath? And I'm like, I don't fucking know how to play keyboards,
Was that the EP with Last Kiss for Daniel on it?
I was not on that recording. No, I
Okay.
joined shortly
Jesse,
after.
that was Jesse Soper on drums, right? I think it
Correct.
was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And Scott was supposed to come on this show, and then he Scott had the idea and then he backed out of it. And I was like, "What? Like how you gonna like give me an idea for a show and like then just be like, "What? I'm out of here." Like, and that's
Psych.
typical Scott too,
That's typical Scott. That dude's
No,
a
he's
joker.
he's my bro too, like I've again known him since like high school, early 20s, so it's like,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you got family members sometimes, and your family members got their little quirks and things that they, do and whatnot. And then that's like the whole like being in a band, man. It's like family, like I
So
always treated my
it's a
bands like
bunch of morons, is what it is, man. Everybody in my
eh,
band is a moron.
that's
I love
awesome.
them though.
But it's
Uh,
that's gonna be a good dynamic.
oh yeah. Scott Cowan and I started another band after I quit stained glass.
Was
He
that
said,
Black
"Man, I
Dog?
want." No, it was Fire.
Oh, Fire. Okay, so old Bart
It,
played in that one, yeah?
it was me, Scott, Bart, and we had my friend, one of my best friends, Andrew Allender on bass,
Okay.
and I think he's in Tryon, North Carolina now, towards Asheville.
Okay.
But we started that band, and we didn't have what were we looking for? A second guitar player. But our first show we played with Even Angels Carry Knives, Harper's Ferry, and I want to say
Harper's
Seneca.
Ferry.
I want to say Seneca headline. It was our first show, and we played tune drop A, guitar heads out of bass cabinets because we wanted to be heavier than fuck. Because Scott was like, "Man, I want to sound like Motley Crue with breakdowns, man." And that's what we did. But we had our set. We had a fill-in guitar player. It's Grayson Berkowitz out of
Grayson, yeah, I know Grayson, yeah,
One
definitely.
amazing kid. He played second guitar for us, and he
Okay,
killed
yeah.
it.
Yeah, no, he's super talented. I remember Grayson. I haven't heard from him in forever,
I play with him every Sunday
Oh, yeah. Oh, at a
at
church?
church. Yeah.
Oh, okay, nice.
It
Is it like a Pentecostal church like you were saying?
no, it's a non-denom.
Okay.
It's not cool at all, but the music's good.
Well, and that's the biggest thing too, like I mean, I had a pretty early spiritual upbringing in the church, but
Yeah.
I got turned on to a lot of the like heavy Christian music, like, and a lot of it was good,
Oh
like
yeah.
Living Sacrifice, freaking amazing,
Ludacris,
you know.
Norma Jean.
I didn't really get into them as much. I did like Spitfire, all right. They were
Heck yeah.
solid.
Spitfire's great.
But yeah, I also got into some of the devil music too. So
Hell yeah.
it's
Me too.
yeah, it's just you know, uh good music is good music, regardless of the spiritual implications or whatever. I mean,
Right.
what do you feel like has been your biggest influences as far as musically?
I mean, the first time I heard Nirvana and started, venturing into what Dave Grohl does behind the kit,
Hmm.
and I obviously have always been a Led Zeppelin fan because of Bonham.
Okay, yeah, no, solid.
So, I mean, that's kind of what has influenced me. Good drums and good guitar hooks. So those bands kind of driven me. So that's what got me to hardcore because it's everything that you want.
Yeah,
And
and I mean it's
then I heard Zayo, Blood and
ooh,
Fire, and that changed
game
everything. That was
changer.
one of the that was one of the first. That one in Strong Arms, one of the first ones that I heard, and then
Yeah.
Dillinger.
Oh wow, yeah, Dillinger. They knock it out of the park with Calculating Infinity and Under the Running
Every
Board. Uh,
I like every record they've ever done, even with the singer changes that
I
were
like
the change.
Yeah, I like Pucciato. I think he's a good singer, you know?
Fantastic. Do you
Yeah.
like any of his new stuff, like his side projects?
I haven't heard any of it really. I've been curious to hear it because I think he's got an all right singing voice, you know, and I'd be curious to see what he's doing.
Yeah,
What's it called?
I think it's the Black Queen.
The Black Queen. Okay.
It's kind of like pop synth, dark goth kind of shit.
That seems to be the norm for hardcore singers now, like Wes
Yeah,
from American Nightmares doing Cold Cave, you know.
and then he's got another one that he released under his name. And the past, I don't know if he did an album or an EP, but
Mhm.
every track had like Chris Hornbrook from Poison the Well, like
Oh,
guest musicians that
okay.
were playing stuff. I think he even had Dillinger's drummer.
Chris Penny,
Bi-
the original.
no, no, not the original guy. Billy. I think
Oh,
his name's Billy.
yeah,
He
Billy
he
Reimer.
plays Billy Reimer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Have you ever seen that drum off that Billy Reimer does with old boy from Dream Theater?
No,
Oh
Mike
man,
Portnoy.
yeah, Mike Portnoy. I couldn't think of his name. He destroys him. Billy Reimer destroys Portnoy.
His grasp of Portnoy's a one trick pony. He's good, but Billy's the way he can phrase polyrhythms and stuff and just sit in like odd time. It just looks so effortless. I mean, and his tone, he doesn't lose his tone, which is incredible. To watch a drummer do that, and it makes me want to quit playing. I'm like, I don't ever want to play drums again. This sucks.
You just you know, like those guys are like savants, you know, like, and
Oh
they
yeah,
even the replacement talent that they've had has all been like spot on, you know.
right.
I mean, like
I'm
I saw a video of those guys when they were playing in a basement in New Jersey when they were like 15 or 16, and they were like insane, like, and they were good, you know.
You talking about Dillinger?
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
it's it.
I watched them with Dimitri and Greg.
Oh wow,
So
I've only seen it with Greg, unfortunately.
yeah, I w- I want to say that they did a show around here with Mike Patton,
Oh,
like
word. When they did
around
that
that
EP.
time.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
I want to say that I've seen every Dillinger show in North Carolina since like '99 or 2000
Did you see when they played with Deftones?
at the festival.
It was Deftones, it was La Butcherettes, and then it was Dillinger. I mean Dillinger was actually in the middle.
Where was that at?
That was
I haven't seen Dillinger on any festivals. I've seen him on like small shows like Amos or Tremont or
oh okay. No,
Orange Peel.
it was Deftones. It was at the what is that, Music Farm or Fillmore. It was at the Fillmore.
I don't think I remember that one.
Oh, okay. It was at the like outdoor arena. It was sick. They had to call it
Oh,
because of the rain. Um,
okay.
but it was cool because they went out with Passenger, and Greg was singing Maynard's part, and I was like, "Oh, this is dope," you
That's
know?
cool.
Yeah, it was fun, man. It was like I said, and they were insane. They were Dillinger. They fucking did the whole number, man. They didn't hold back at all.
Dude, I remember watching them on freaking Conan or something, and they played a song off of the Miss Machine record.
Oh yeah,
It was
I
right
think
around that time,
yeah. I think.
and
Go ahead.
it was pretty cool to watch them. I mean, they just did what they do. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
No, and I mean, even some of their like Miss Machine was a really good album, you know, like Panasonic Youth. That song kicks
God.
ass, you know.
And then it had that was the Poppy song on there. I was like, dude, it was like foreshadowing where they were heading.
Right. But at the same time, it feels pretty seamless, like their progressions and stuff, you know, like doesn't seem
I mean,
forced. It doesn't seem out of
no,
place, you know.
I think they did something every album that was worth talking about, 20 years from now. Like I think it stands the test of time with all their records.
You
Even
know,
if you don't like the music, the production and the thought that they put into them, they're one of my favorites.
yeah, and you know,
I'm
like
biased.
I had a buddy that he wasn't even really into that kind of music, and he was just like, I think I posted something like hardcore metal related, and he was like, "Dude, have you ever heard the Dillinger Escape Plan?" I was like, "Of course," like, it's real funny because, buddy of mine and I, that went to high school together, we got really high and listened to that album, and there was some program on the, I think it was a PlayStation or something like that, where he could just like make all sorts of crazy designs, but he would do it to the music whenever it changed. And that was his first time smoking pot too. And so he was like
Jesus
super,
Christ.
he was just super like, oh my God, this is insane. And he was just doing all this crazy visual shit with the PlayStation and stuff. I was laughing my ass off and loving it, man. It was fun, dude.
Yeah, those people are always interesting when they're vibing.
Yeah. What do you think about Meshuggah?
I mean, what's not to think? They've been doing it for since 1990, 91, I think.
I think even before that, probably like late 80s, maybe. I could be
Guess how
wrong.
many bands have ripped them off? All of them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Even Deftones to a degree. Like
They
when I listen.
created what you call a gent. I mean,
Yeah. Oh,
and,
absolutely.
and now it's mainstream. Everybody's got a 7 or 8 string.
It's true. And it's interesting because Deftones, like when they did that Diamond Eyes album, I was like, somebody's been
Ah,
listening to Meshuggah.
well, Scott or no, Stephen Carpenter.
Stephen
He was
Carpenter.
asked about bands that influenced him. Obviously, Meshuggah, but guess who else?
Bad.
Zayo.
Really?
We call that a callback in the showbiz.
Wow. That's pretty wild, man. Because
So
I
he
mean,
talked about a tour in particular where they spun Blood and Fire the whole friggin' tour.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I mean, but I wouldn't put it past them because, like, Deftones, I guess they were kind of new metal initially, but like they were always like they were doing Bad Brains covers and like stuff
Hmm.
like that. Like they have their
They
roots.
listen to good music. That's why their music's good.
Exactly. They have roots in all branches of music. Like, did you ever hear
Right.
that B-sides album they did?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they were doing like Leonard Skinnerd and like, Sade and like all sorts of, The Cure and like all sorts of crazy shit.
There's a record shelf that's not seen the light of day.
Because of the bass player, right?
Yeah, it's called
Yeah.
Eros.
Eros. Yeah. I heard there was like a leak and it was like an incomplete track.
I
I was
think all the song titles are named after strippers they've encountered on the tours, which is super interesting to me. I want to hear it, dude. Which fits the name Eros, right?
Right, absolutely. Well, that may be an advertisement for that Eros website or wherever where you actually go and like pick
I
up
wish they
products.
would call me. I'd be their hype guy for the new record.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would love to hear. I've heard a couple tracks. They played some songs live, but they
Oh,
never.
really?
Yeah, if you have to kind of go into the deep web to find them on YouTube, and if you just type Eros tracks live or some shit, you can usually
Interesting.
find. That sounds like shit.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
Deftones. I remember I saw them on the Tonight Show, and they were wasted. Like Dino was wasted, at least, and I was like,
What are you talking about? Like cocaine?
no, he was drunk. He was 3 sheets to the wind, man. He was.
Hell yeah.
But like I was a little disappointed with their performance. But then when I saw them at with I saw them with Baroness. Damn, what a show! That was great. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Baroness is great.
it truthfully, Baroness I think played a little bit better than the Deftones, but whatever. I still enjoyed the show, and it was just a great experience, and I was so happy that Chino was able to kind of hold his own this time. I was like, yeah, man, yeah, Jay Leno, I don't think it was too good for y'all.
Yeah, that band's crazy.
They're amazing though because they've always got like themes that are like tinged with like sex and girls and stuff, and they were doing that whole girl on the album cover long before some of the other bands were doing it,
Oh yeah,
at least the
for
heavy
sure.
bands. I know, like, some of like older like new wave bands have had girls on their covers and stuff, but yeah, as far as heavy music, and they've got kind of like a new wave influence too,
Deftones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they've got a lot of that comes from Chino, I think, but I think the heavy counterpart of that band is definitely Carpenter.
Oh, no doubt.
And Abe Cunningham, dude, he's a freaking machine, dude.
He's sick.
I can watch that fucker play drums all day. It just makes it interesting.
Do you know End of All, Death Blow, Azazel, drummer?
Yeah, Azazel.
Yeah.
They played at Furnace Fest. Was it last year or the year before?
No, they played at the Memorial
this is that fest
for John Rivera. Yeah, with Prayer for Cleansing and Undying and stuff. Yeah,
dude, I had a ticket to that. I couldn't make it. I was so pissed.
Really?
I've never watched Prayer for Cleansing.
Oh, see, I
watched old BT Band, but I've not seen Prayer for Cleansing.
See, I saw their very last show when they broke up initially, like in 2000 or something. It was with Hatebreed, Stretch Armstrong, Undying was there.
Shit, Undying.
Yeah, it was a hell of a show. I can't remember who else played, but it was great. I feel like, did Converge play that? I don't know, but yeah, hell of a show. I mean, and Jeremy from all those bands was saying that Abe Cunningham is like one of the best drummers he's ever heard. He's just, like you said, makes things interesting, and I'm not a good gauge of talent when it comes to drums. I can be like, he's really good, and real drummers will be like, nah, that guy's shit,
Yeah. Drummers are mean to each other sometimes.
Really?
No. Yeah, Abe, the way he phrases his parts, it's very intentional to the relationship of how the song. It just makes it like you can listen to his isolated tracks and you're like, that's Abe Cunningham. You don't even have to know.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. You can just listen to just tracks.
And each drummer has little distinct things they did. Like Emerson Manning, I think he played in Stained Glass at one point, but
he was in Harper's Ferry.
Harper's Ferry, yeah. I played in a project later with him called Tyrannus, which was got the most depressed I've ever been in my life, I think.
Wasn't Bart in that too?
He was, yeah. He played guitar, but anyway, he likes those ghost hits, like.
Oh, I love that shit too.
Yeah, and I'm like, that stuff is interesting to me, because like I said, I don't know the intricacies of the whole drumming world, and like, keeping rhythm, and I mean, I can play guitar and bass and sing and stuff, but like as far as drummers, like y'all got like a different brain, and especially Tomas from Meshuggah, man, that guy, I
don't know if this is true about Tomas, but I've heard that he writes his parts on a computer and then he has to learn them.
I think I've heard that too.
I don't know if that's true or not.
I mean,
somebody fact check me.
Well,
but
I mean,
it would make a lot of sense because he's very calculated and it sounds very like I don't know, methodical. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. Have you ever heard Bill Burr's description of them? He's like,
oh yeah, where he's like,
he's like, the drum is playing
brutal, dude,
completely different on the snare and in the toms and stuff, and then his feet are playing a completely different song, and I'm like,
oh, what the fuck, brutal, dude.
That's it. Brutal. He's like, I don't really need angry music. I got enough in my life. But yeah, that was almost like the perfect description of Meshuggah. He was
talking about Thomas's polyrhythms. I think he went with his drum teacher, Dave Ehrlich. He plays for Weezer and a couple other. I think he played in.
Bill Burr's drum teacher is.
Yeah, he played. I want to say he was in the Mars Volta also. I do not know how the Mars Volta keeps getting such amazing drummers. They had Thomas Pridgeton. Come on, man. Kid will make it. Thomas Pridgeton?
Yeah.
So he is. let's see how old he is. Doesn't matter. But he played in Mars Volta. He was in Giraffe Tongue Orchestra with Ben Weineman from Dillinger,
Oh,
the singer from Alice in Chains.
oh, the new one or Lane?
No, the new one.
Oh, okay.
I forgot
He's
the dude's
good.
name.
He's good.
Fantastic.
That Alice in
And,
Chains album they released whenever he was the on it first, you know. Incredible. Sounds like old Alice in Chains, you know.
was it Black Gives Way to Blue? That was the
Yes.
first one, I think.
Yeah, that was the first one with the new singer.
Did Check My Brain? That
Yeah.
track 1 or 2?
There was another track on there where it was super like heavy and kind of sludgy.
That was Check My Brain, I believe.
It's like the one after. It's kind of more like heavy, more heavy than Check My Brain.
Yeah.
I can't think of the name of it though.
Yeah, that was a good welcome back, man. With that dude, they
no doubt.
Best and they haven't put out a bad record since.
I don't doubt it. I'd
opinion.
be curious to hear it. Best live show you ever been to?
Man, it's been I would say my most memorable one. You're talking about seeing all these stacked bills for $10. The last one that I went to had everybody on it. It was like Avenged Sevenfold, Around Waking the Fallen Times, and it was 18 Visions, Dillinger, Every Time I Die, Poison the Well.
I think I remember that show.
It was like Take Action Tour. I think that's what it was.
Yeah,
I
don't know.
The big stage at yeah. And
yeah.
I want to say Further Seems Forever was on that one too.
I don't know.
It was crazy stacked.
Oh yeah. I mean, no. It was Poison the Well. It was 18 Visions. I was at that show. Every Time I Die, An American Nightmare. I think we're talking about the same tour.
And Dillinger was on it?
No. But this
one had Dillinger because I still have the hoodie from that show.
What year was it?
03, 04.
Okay, so then those tours must have like converged at one point because
that bill was stacked at the one I went to. I want to say Further Seems Forever was on that one too. I know 18 Visions and Avenged Sevenfold were Avenged Sevenfold played first.
Okay, yeah, I think I do remember that show. That's interesting. Wow, yeah, that's a killer lineup right there. I mean, that's
and Every Time I Die played for sure because I remember the pit for them and Poison the Well it was wall to wall.
Don't doubt it. Don't doubt it. That whole era of them, they kind of lost me with their later albums. Every Time I Die, but like those first few albums that are kind of converged.
I feel like they got better. They got a little bit more popular, but that like Southern rock shit, I fucked hard with it. You know what I'm saying?
I tell you what, that one that they did that ended up on the Guitar Hero soundtrack was pretty good. That
off of the
New Black, maybe.
Yeah. I didn't like that record when it came out. As far as the drums, it was just that sign of the times. Every record sounded like that with the drums. Like,
what do you think about Rat Boy though? As far as a drummer,
Rat Boy?
Yeah,
he was the early guy, right?
The early drummer, yeah.
He was pretty good. I mean, they've had so many good drummers in that band,
right?
But I hear he's jamming with some of the ETI guys now.
I don't doubt it. You know, it's
because they've kind of split into two bands.
Oh, okay. I auditioned for Martyr AD, and they were telling me about Rat Boy because they said he's just like he'd never played with the double kick pedal, like he was just filling in for them, and he just learned it like it was no problem, you know.
Yeah. That's crazy. It makes me sick. Those types who just pick it up and they don't have to work hard for it. I'm like, oh, okay.
Do you practice a lot then?
I'm a dad. I don't have a lot of time to sit behind a kit. I have a kit here at the house. It's my son's, and I'll sit behind it and just, tinker around until they tell me to shut up. But my band, we practice once a week, so I at least get a good hour and a half in, and then I play on Sundays. So
nice. Back to Every Time I Die, we had a funny story when we played with them. God, where did we? Uncle Doctor's or somewhere, maybe in Columbia.
South Carolina?
I think so. Yeah, yeah. Oh well, yeah. Columbia, South Carolina. I think it was that show we played with them at. Anyway, they were all like going around to tables and picking up the scraps and stuff like that. Like they weren't paying for food or anything like that. And
That's such a typical story.
yeah,
Because we're trying to get by, dog. We ain't got no money.
well, and then like we were sitting there, and Rat Boy comes over and he goes, "Can I borrow this?" And it was a light bulb, and we were like, "Sure." And he just unscrews it, takes it, and then just leaves. And I was like, "Bro, you could have taken any other light bulb in here, but you came over to our fucking table."
I thought you were gonna say he came by and asked if he had any cheese. You know what I mean? That's how he earned his name as Rat Boy.
Really?
No, I don't know.
Oh, I don't fucking know either. It sounds plausible though,
That was a dad joke. Sorry.
Oh, okay. That's good. I don't know if I'll ever have to learn those, thankfully. But no, I mean they were always on some weird shit, like, and they were always funny as shit. Like I remember Keith got up there one time and was like, "What the fuck?" Oh, he was like, "What's the difference between a horse and Alf?" And we were like, I don't know. And he was like, "Nothing. It's just Alf," like that. And I was like, "What the fuck does that mean?" I was
Alf,
like, "What?"
like the TV show?
Yeah. I was like, what are you talking about?
Wasn't he always trying to eat cats?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Dude, that was a weird show.
It was, man. But those dudes in ETID were always like, I remember they were listening to some jangly fucking country fucking wild like outlaw shit one time when they were like in their van and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? They're fucking weirdos.
I think that at one point I heard there was a war going on between them, and I think they toured with Atreyu. I want to say it was those two guys. It was
I
like the
saw
meat thing where they put meat in their van, the friggin' air filters. So
they
it
put
got
meat
real,
in Treyu's van.
yeah, and it got real gnarly. I think that was them.
I don't doubt it. Like I said, it seems like something they would do. Completely plausible.
Yeah, I think it's funny because one or two of the guys in the trade were vegetarians, so it was like,
that's got to be unbearable. How did they figure it out?
I don't know. I could be making the story up, but it sounds plausible in my head. It was maybe something that I was watching, and they were talking about it every time I died. And Atreyu had a prank war.
Oh, so it wasn't like mean spirited.
This is how misinformation spreads. You got a bunch of
this
idiots
is all like
saying
secondhand information and shit. For the record,
me,
folks, this is all hearsay. What was I going to say though? No, I mean it's funny because you hear all these weird tour antics and stuff like that, and Scott Cowan told me a story back to Norma Jean, how one of the members wanted to listen to a CD, and so they said, if you want to listen to a CD, we're going to put saran wrap on and shit on your face. They put saran wrap over his face, take a big dump on it. And he agreed to it. He agreed. They let him listen to himself. Again, this is all.
There's not a CD that I want to listen to that
bad. Yo, motherfuckers, go ahead and play Enya. I don't give a shit because I'm not fucking having any shit on my fucking.
Don't be pooping on me, dog. That's a humiliating experience for a man. I can't put myself through that, dog.
Right. It's just so interesting hearing stories like that. When I was in my second band, Deathblow, we got involved in this big ass brawl. It was at Somewhere Else Tavern. We weren't actually in the brawl, but like we were lumped in with people that were. Basically, one of the bands came and started talking shit, and we were like, what the fuck,
Was this like the crew shit? Like FSU?
It was. Well, it wasn't FSU, but it was some of the crews from the Triad area. And like some of the guys were talking shit, and one of the guys was grabbing this other dude's ass, and he told him to quit doing it and shit. Yeah, and he just kept, and so he popped him right in the fucking mouth.
So he's
And-
a homophobe. Okay, noted.
No, no, he just kept fucking with the dude, you
You're
know.
too close, man.
And you know, he you know, then one of the other bands got up there and was like, "Oh yeah, fuck the guys who hit our friend like that." And the dude that hit their friend rushed the stage with a few other dudes, and they were just fucking them up on the stage. And we, you know, on Lamb Goat, I think the next day or something, we got the blame pinned on us. Like, we incited it. We were like, we were in the back. We were just selling merch, just observing, you know, like we had nothing to do with that, you know. So it was interesting.
Lamb Goat. They like stirring shit up.
Oh, they love it.
I think
man.
I unfollowed them and Metal Sucks because it was just
It's so
toxic,
toxic.
fucking out of. I mean, it's like I just want to know the bands, and people are so. Who you post about a band and all the fucking comments. People are
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
are shit, dude. That's why I
Well,
don't believe in UFOs. We're a fucking dump.
yeah,
They would eliminate us.
they
If
would
were
eliminate
real,
us, or they would have come sooner.
they drive, dude. At this point, they drive past us with their doors locked. Big facts.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just interesting the state of the world, you know, and to think, you know, if artificial intelligence ever came, like what they would think about us, you know.
Yeah, or it thinks about us.
Yeah, it might just be like a VJer type entity, like in Star Trek, you know, like where they're just trying to collect information or something, and you know, I don't know.
What's up, man? You about that simulation theory or not?
What is the simulation? Oh, the fact that like we're in like the Matrix or something.
Yeah. If it's some part of a plan that somebody's playing a game and we're their avatar.
It would be interesting, wouldn't it? You know, like what is that one? Ready Player One or something like that?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't watch movies.
you don't watch movies?
Mm-mm.
I was about to say, like, what do you do you watch?
I mean, I
TV?
watch. Nah, I watch football. I like to get disappointed, so I'm a Panthers fan.
Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed
I love disappointment. It's my favorite. That's why I pull for the Panthers. I mean, me and the wife, we watch classics like The Office, or we like stand up, and I watch like silly 90s comedies. You know, shit that I grow up on, but there's not a lot that gets me pumped in entertainment biz, especially movies and TV show, because it's all propaganda nonsense, and I'll have none of it.
Yeah,
Because
it's
I
really
want to
hard.
chill in my house, dog. Don't be bringing that shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's and especially, you know, you're talking about football with the NFL and stuff, and it's like, you know, some of the players are finally starting to like stand up to the forced wokeness of everything, and they're like, this is not what I signed up for, you know.
Well, I mean, they got bullied into a corner because if they didn't, play part of the propaganda, it's like, well, you're this and you're that. And it's like, I just want to play a game.
Right.
It's like middle class America. We just tune into that shit because we want to be entertained. We got this thing that all bonds us together, the fan
Right.
of the team.
It crosses political lines, it crosses cultural lines, you know.
And I'm all for it, man. Have your opinions, have your beliefs. That's what makes America great. But fucking, I just want to watch a football game.
Exactly.
I don't want to know what kind of underwear you got on, bruh, or whatever the fuck. Just play this fucking sport.
Yeah, it's insane to me how much they, you know, even other institutions besides the NFL have just, you know, kind of pandered to the mob. And, you know, I think we're starting to see a pushback against it from, you know, the like we said, the players, from the fans, you know, like I don't know what because I don't really follow football too much, but like I don't know what like the attendance is like. Is it up? Is it down? Like
I don't feel like it's ever been down. I mean, people want to go watch it. Like true fans would go watch it.
Right.
I have those friends who are, man, I ain't watching that. Man, I ain't watching it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, they could sacrifice a baby at the 50-yard line. I'm still watching fucking football. I'm kidding. But it's just, it's my non-negotiable, dog. I love watching football, and that's what I do to, like, it's my man thing. Gotta watch football on Sundays.
You got to have that, man,
And it disappoints me every Sunday. So it's like I'm back to work Monday with a hangover.
Oh, no.
No. I'm
Wait,
kidding.
So who's even going to the Super Bowl this year? Isn't it fucking
Well, it's not been determined yet. You still have 49ers against.
Yeah, I was going to say 49ers I know are in the running.
49ers are playing the Eagles. And then you've got the Bengals playing freaking, oh my God, my brain just shit the bed. Anyway, somebody's yelling at me on the computer. The fucking blah blah blahs.
Oh, are you live
The
right
Chiefs.
now?
The
Oh,
Chiefs.
okay. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, like
so
I said,
then
football.
whoever wins those games determines the Super Bowl.
Okay. Who are you? I mean, are you pulling for anybody at this point?
I guess I'm going to go with 49ers because
okay.
Christian McCaffrey. He was a Panther. We let him go this year.
Oh.
So, yeah.
That's
big up. Shout out McCaffrey if you're listening.
We'll see. My subscriber count has gone up significantly. So, there's some
he's too pretty. He's too pretty to be living in San Francisco with his little dime piece. They club and he's a youngin'.
Oh, is that right?
He ain't watching podcasts, dog.
Probably not.
You forget we old. This is what old people do.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, people are like, oh, you want to go out, and I'm like, I want to sit on my couch and I want to watch movies and play Nintendo.
You can come here. And we'll hang out.
Yeah, exactly. No, the home gatherings are so much more fun, because you don't have to be around the obnoxious.
That's why I like living in a small town. So I live in Lincoln County, and I have a local watering hole that I walk to because we live downtown.
Yeah.
And I walk there, get a couple pints, and walk back home. And I don't really talk to very many people. It's awesome.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm in bed by 9.
There you go, man. You got to
know that.
Dude, I've been going to bed earlier and earlier, and now I'm like, yeah, I get why when you get old you do that, because
I don't think it's an age thing. I think it's good for the soul. Like when you wake up, early risers, there's something spiritual about having a schedule. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
not trying to get all woo woo about it, but there's something to it.
Right, and having routine and stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting that you brought that up, because in Vedic philosophy, they have what's called the Brahma Muhurta, and that's between the hours of 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. And it's said to be a good time for spiritual enlightenment and meditation and stuff. So you're onto something there, man.
Well, you have to have that moment of, even if it's not that time, you make it to where you have that time you set aside where you shut your brain off and you sit and breathe and meditate.
Right.
And you find your center. And I did that just before I jumped on here because my wife and my daughter is sick, and they've been coughing ever since I got home from work. So I had to go center.
No, I hear you, man. And with that, do you have
chaos?
Yeah, no doubt. Do you have anything you want to like promote, or aside from the band, or do you want to talk the band's social links?
So right now we're building our social presence back up because it was deleted with the splitting of our singer. We had some problems with that, but we have a Facebook. We are on Instagram as TYGER Zaps.
And it's spelled TYGER.
Yeah, TYGER. Zaps, ZAPS, because we like to get zapped.
That's awesome. Very cool. Instagram, anything like that?
Yeah, Instagram is TYGER Zaps.
Okay, cool. Well,
I ain't got nothing to promote, dog, but positivity.
There you
one
go.
Love, man.
Absolutely. Ja Rastafari. Haile Selassie. Dude, it was so great having you here, and I'm glad we finally got to got to actually do the podcast, because I know it was
Yeah,
it was
man.
pretty difficult, and even today, like, interpersonal drama, I was just like, oh, I'm so drained right now. And I was like, fuck,
It's
I got
exhausting, man. The biggest
and,
thing we
you
can
know,
do is send positivity and have fellowship with people. And
absolutely.
it's hard when you want to reach across the string on somebody, but that's not changing nobody's minds. Love in the end conquers all, and I think that 100%.
I agree.
Sometimes bitches is wilding though. You know what I'm saying?
I do know that. I do know that all too well, sir. Well, dude, thanks for joining us. Like I said, TNF podcast here. Like, comment, share, subscribe, click on that bell. Follow Hell's Heart Co. on Instagram. I got a whole bunch of new designs on there, merch, all that stuff. Follow TYGER on all the aforementioned social media outlets. And Daniel, again, thanks for having you.
Yeah, man. Happy to be here.
Dude.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And absolutely, namaste. God bless. Be good, y'all. Thanks.
Gang, gang.